on the scarves, and that van is being moved across the Trent End in the direction of the road sign, across towards the Brian Clough stand. And on the top deck, the mosaic reads, "Take us on a trip with the 2 European Cups." Cracking noise for Mull, the Forest anthem ringing out, and the Reds, with Europe booked, ready to see if they can promote themselves on final day into Europa League, or who knows, the big prize, which is a little out of their own hands, the Champions League. Referee Anthony Taylor blows his whistle and gets us underway, and Forest are playing towards the Bridgeford end in the first half, from left to right as we look at it, and the ball is thumped away by Tosin for Chelsea, and all the way through to Matt Sells, who lays it out short for Murillo. Murillo now for Milenkovic, as the Forest fans sing their head coach's name. Nuno standing on the edge of his technical area with his arms folded, as Chelsea have it inside their half with Cucurella. He sends it forward down the Chelsea left, Jadon Sancho chasing after it, but it'll be knocked away by Ola Aina, and out for a throw. Mark Cucurella is going to take. Give you the Chelsea lineup in just a moment. They've actually started with Pedro Neto up front, so he's their striker today. No Nicholas Jackson, of course, he's suspended, and so it'll be he who is up front. Cole Palmer here putting Ola Aina under pressure, clears down the line, not very far though. Sancho can't get away from Dominguez. It'll be a Chelsea throw left hand side, level with the edge of the Forest box, taken quickly and down the line. And here's Sancho again, hassled by Aina, and now rolls it infield towards Caicedo. He gives it to Cole Palmer. That's flicked off Nico Dominguez, and it'll be a corner for Chelsea in the opening couple of minutes. So Chelsea have got Robert Sanchez in goal, Reece James, Tosin, Levi Colwill and Mark Cucurella the back four, Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo in front of them, and then Noni Madueke as the corner now comes in, back post and headed away by Chris Wood. Gibbs White went chasing after it but didn't get there ahead of Reece James, and it's collected by Caicedo. Caicedo clips one forward inside left channel, and Dominguez just to shepherd this away for a goal kick. So Madueke started on the right, Sancho on the left, Jadon Sancho, and then Cole Palmer in the number 10 behind Pedro Neto, who is playing up front. Their subs: Philip Jorgensen, the goalkeeper, Benoit Badiashile, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, Trevor Chalobah, Josh Achampong, Malo Gusto, Tyreek George, Mark Guiu and Romeo Lavia. 2 minutes played, 0-0, and the ball is pinged back by Ola Aina here to Milenkovic, and he gives it to Murillo. Murillo out to the left-hand side for Williams, drops it infield to Gibbs White. Forest keeping a little bit of possession inside their own half, and it's back with Sells again in his tennis ball green, yellow, with orange flashes across it. And now here's Milenkovic for Aina down the right hand side, sends it forward towards Elanga, headed away from him but out of play for what'll be a Forest throw just inside Chelsea territory. There's a beach ball on the pitch which referee Anthony Taylor has alerted Murillo to. Murillo runs back, picks it up, and he'll take it off on the far side. Early thoughts, Steve Hodge.
Yeah, the thoughts are that you're right about Sancho playing on the left, Madueke on the right, Pedro Neto a winger up front on his own, but he'll obviously drop deep. We're a bit lopsided, to be fair. I think he started the game on the right wing. The ball goes across to the far side. He drops inside alongside Chris Wood, but the left hand side for us is completely free, really, apart from Nico Williams. So if you're Chelsea and you're Reece James and you're Madueke, that's a 2-on-1 for them at some point in the game.
Long ball forward down that Forest left hand side. Sangare, lovely ball to Gibbs White inside left channel. Gibbs White towards the edge of the box. That might be a penalty as he's knocked from behind. Think Reece James played the ball. It's found its way to Elanga, who has to come outside the box, gets it back again from Dominguez and gives it back to Dominguez once more. Now Elanga, wide right, stabs it down the line to Dominguez again, low ball in and whipped away from the near post. I think VAR will have a little look at it. Peter Banks on VAR today, but I think
to be fair, Gibbs White didn't do much about it. Gibbs White, I think he did play the ball. Good challenge. I mean, he was behind Gibbs White. He got back, recovered really well. He had to get his tackle spot on, and he just got a toe on the ball with his right foot.
Here's Elanga down the right wing again, and he holds off the challenge of Palmer and then wins a corner off Madueke. Madueke and Palmer both back defending near their own byline to try and get the ball away from Elanga, and it will be a corner.
This crowd is cooking, absolutely cooking for a goal.
Corner to Forest, right wing, Anthony Elanga to take. Everybody in the A block and probably most of the B standing up behind him and in the lower Bridgeford, but the corner is actually under hit from Elanga and easily cleared near post. He holds up his hand in apology. Palmer knocked it away, and it'll be a long throw yet for Ola Aina to come across and take. He applauds the supporters in that area of the main stand, Peter Taylor stand. Aina then from the right hand side. This throw is only 6 yards from the corner flag. Nikola Milenkovic furious about something inside the penalty area, and Anthony Taylor has blown his whistle, and he just seems to be pointing everybody away from him. And so Aina takes the throw. It's actually a short one for Elanga. Back it goes to Aina, back it goes to Elanga. He's on his left foot now to cross. Cucurella with a diving header away at the back post. Sancho gets his head to it. Forrest pick it up again with Aina. Down the right hand side, good turn. Then wriggles away from a couple of challenges, but not the third, who's Casado. Chelsea look to break. Murillo wins it brilliantly. Helped on by Aina to Gibbs White. Got it under control eventually, and then tries to take it away from Casado, who got back to him. And a free kick's been given, and you can hear the boos straight away, because this referee is on a loser from the start with this crowd.
Yeah, I thought it was a fair tackle actually from Gibbs White, but the ball was loose. It was in between Caicedo's legs. He was trying to dig it out really. I mean, see a replay, maybe caught him, I don't know, but it's a harsh one.
Yeah, it's not taken the crowd long to start telling the referee what they think. Here's Levi Colwill, a man whose own goal put Forest in the Premier League on the final day of the season 3 years ago, and now here he is again playing in a massive game against Forest on the final day of the season. What price of Levi Colwill own goal today, I wonder? Here is Reece James, right hand side of the field for Chelsea, halfway inside his own half. Forward to halfway for Fernandez, who gets away from Elliot Anderson, just got goal side of him and is allowed to run, and now pings a ball across to the left hand side, but overhits it for Sancho. And out for a Forest throw. 7 gone, 0-0.
Anderson's problem where he went wide to try and help out against Reece James, and by doing that he allowed Fernandez inside him a little bit to get on the ball and get turned, and thankfully put a ball out of play. Good ball there from Sangare, wide left. Nico Williams.
Yep, good ball again from Sangare. It's a couple he's played already in the early stages. Here's Gibbs White infield to Sangare again, who turns away from Neto, gives it Milenkovic, and he gives it to Murillo. Murillo, left hand side for Anderson, still just inside his own half, Elliot Anderson. Here on Match Day from BBC Radio Nottingham, the home of live Nottinghamshire sport. Here is Milenkovic on the edge of the centre circle. Swaps passes with Sangare. Lost the ball under his feet for a second, but it's not really under any sort of pressure. And now here's Murillo into the feet of Elanga, who's gone central now. It's an unnecessary shove from Cucurella. Now here's Dominguez. Rolls it infield from Sangare once more. Sangare 15 yards into Chelsea territory, lays it off for Dominguez. Dominguez running forward, plays it into Aina, inside right channel, squares it back, cleared near post by Colwill. It's another corner. Lovely run from Aina. Good ball, Dominguez.
Yeah, and then Dominguez came inside there and just Aina just got forward, just drifted into the inside right position. Nobody went with him. Got his cross, going to fair, he went a little bit too far to the byline, but got his cross with his right foot low to the near post, but the defenders got across quickly. Sorted out the danger, but the way he wandered in there is encouraging.
Elanga with the corner from the right hand side. See if it's better than the last one. It's deeper, certainly. Cucurella gets his head to it. Williams heads it back in. Colwill heads it away. Anderson with the challenge. Chelsea looking to break though as Madueke finds Neto. Chelsea getting 5 forward here in this attack on the break. Here's Neto, wide right. Forest getting their men back. Ball into the penalty area, cleared by Murillo first time. Out into the lower tier of the Brian Clough stand on that far side. 9 played, 0-0. Bright start from Forest. Nuno called for it. Wanted a good start. He, as much as anybody, knows the importance of getting the first goal. It's been so vital to Forest through the course of this extraordinary season. And we await the first goal here as Chelsea have it inside their own half. It's Levi Colwill for Cole Palmer. Sends it back to Colwill. Had to stretch, but no pressure on him, and so finds Reece James, who gives it Madueke. Tries to sweep it forward first time for Enzo Fernandez, but blocked by Williams and out for a Chelsea throw. Crystal Palace are in front at Anfield on the day that Liverpool will be awarded the Premier League trophy, of course. So Palace at the moment spoiling the party. There are no goals as Chelsea lose their way on halfway and put it straight out of play. There are no goals in those important matches at the top of the Premier League so far. Ball down the right hand side for Forest. Aina goes chasing after it. Cucurella gets to it just in front of Aina. And it's another Forest throw, which is only a couple of yards again from the corner flag down the right hand side.
Beautiful ball for Sangare again. Centre circle, right foot. Took a great first touch, to be fair, around the corner, and then saw Aina on the right wing firing down there. And perfect pass into the corner flag area. Cucurella just got there first, but beautiful pass.
Aina to take. Again, it's a short throw. 2 or 3 times they've done that. Elanga onto his left foot. Fire over a cross, too deep. And over everybody's head and behind for a goal kick. That's interesting, isn't it? 11 minutes in, they've had, I think, 3 Ola Aina throws within 10 yards of the corner flag, and they've gone short on all of them. Yeah,
I think they're right to as well, actually, because I think they've actually made a mistake, Elanga, by going. Obviously, if it's a better ball, it can be a problem. But Ola Aina was free as a bird on the inside, 2 against 1, but he discounted him and put the ball in the box. But yeah, if it's there 2 against 1 to get a free ball in the box under no pressure, I'd do that rather than just throw the ball long and hope for the best.
Reece James for Chelsea into Madueke, 10 yards inside his own half. He's turning in a circle and then is forced back by Williams to Tosin, and now Colwill. And Colwill to the left hand side for Cole Palmer, who's dropped really deep.
Yeah, you see he's gone deep there, but Fernandez has gone in the space where he would normally be. They're just in that little rotation. They know where each needs to be when a certain player drops into a little pocket.
Colwill lays it to his right for Reece James up to halfway. 0-0, 12 minutes played on BBC Radio Nottingham. Here's Noni Madueke. He's running infield, gets away from Williams. Now Neto for Fernandez to cross first time right through the 6-yard box. No takers. Jadon Sancho closest to it, but I'd like to think that Ola Aina knew that he wasn't going to get to it, because he seemed to just sway out the way of attempting to clear the ball and just let it run for a throw.
Yeah, I think you're right, Colin. Good play from Chelsea there. Slick passing to the right wing. Good cross across the face of the 6-yard box, but Aina in control of it. Pace of the ball, the height of it as well. And it flew past his head and past the winger Jadon Sancho, was right behind him.
Throw to Forest. Aina down the line towards Chris Wood, headed away from him but collected in midfield by Anderson, who sends a ball left hand side for Nico Williams. Gibbs White trying to get in behind Reece James, but Williams couldn't find him. It was cut out by James. And here's Madueke, across his own half for Colwill. As Chelsea slow things down again, Tosin gives it back to Colwill.
Yeah, the moment Dominguez is the man who's solely marking Cole Palmer at the moment, wherever he goes. He's a bit of a man-to-man at the moment. I won't continue, I don't think, but just watching wherever Cole Palmer goes, he's trying to find a little pocket space. He's got one now, actually.
Yeah, it's just Dominguez sort of moved away from him. Here's Madueke. where Crystal Palace lead 1-0 against Liverpool. That's a mistake by Tosin, showed too much of it to Gibbs-White, who sends an early ball forward towards Elanga. Colwill sends it back to Sanchez, who chips it straight out of play, Robert Sanchez. And Forest will have another throw, this one about 20 yards out right-hand side.
Not quite sure what he was
thinking.
Tried to clip the ball over to the left back, but got far too much weight on the pass and flew over the head straight, or one bounce off the park.
Forest work it across the Chelsea half to the left-hand side now. This is Nico Williams 30 yards out. He's curling over across back post. Dominguez heads it back in, and Sanchez comes off his line and jumps higher than Gibbs-White to catch it and bowls it out to Enzo Fernandez. Here's Madueke sending it forward towards Neto, headed down by Murillo to Sangare, who gives it to Anderson and back to Sangare again, and then Anderson once more. Anderson now for Dominguez as Forest approach halfway, just to the left of the centre circle. Now Dominguez starts to bustle forward with the ball, lays it off to his left for Williams. Now Anderson rolls it backwards for Milenkovic, and Milenkovic to the right hand side for Ola Aina. Down the line now for Elanga, little ball infield to Gibbs-White, lovely 1-2, but then Elanga's ball into Dominguez is not quite accurate enough. Colwell got a foot in, and it's out to halfway again, where Forest collect once more. Milenkovic for Murillo as the sun comes out brightly. Murillo sends it forward diagonally towards Gibbs-White. Cucurella gets his head to it. It's going to go out for another Forest throw in their right wing position.
Yeah, just saw there Gibbs-White just drift off, ball on the left hand side, went right in behind, kind of just in behind Cucurella and just tried to get the ball in behind, but forced to throw in from there. On we go.
Aina gets it back from Anderson. He curls over the cross. Little flick header on by Gibbs-White. Chris Wood trying to turn and get to it ahead of Sanchez, who's quickly off his line again and skids along the ground to get to it. He bowls it out again to Enzo Fernandez, and he gives it to Neto, who comes back into his own half once more for Chelsea. Madueke really deep at the moment. And now here's Tosin. 0-0 it remains after 16 minutes on the final day of the season here at the City Ground. It remains 0-0 everywhere in those crucial matches at the top end of the Premier League. So as things stand, it's as you were. Cole Palmer being hassled and harried here by Sangare, who then wins it off him, and he's unlucky, Sangare, to not win a throw. But the assistant referee says it came off him last, but he was all over Cole Palmer.
Yeah, that's what he needs to do the whole game. Obviously it's going to be difficult at times doing that around your own penalty area, but then he got him where he wanted him, going towards the byline, going towards his own goal, and he wrapped his right foot around and put Palmer on his backside basically, and then unfortunately the ball hit his leg and went out for a throw in for Chelsea. But that's the kind of determination and desire you need to get close to people like Cole Palmer.
Great flick from Sancho to Neto. Neto down the left hand side, Sangare getting after him. Good tackle again by Sangare, then kept in play by Dominguez. Neto on his backside looking up at the referee, wanting a free kick. Nothing doing. Murillo gives it to Elliot Anderson, edge of his own penalty area. Sangare turns, little ball this time 10 yards forward to Gibbs-White. He tucks it back for Dominguez, and Dominguez spreads it out leftwards for Murillo, and now Elanga from Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White again on halfway for Elanga once more. His left hand side now is Anthony Elanga, and he's being tracked by Colwill. He's played it forward towards Gibbs-White. He gives it back to
we got
Elanga
caught there
again, and
yellow.
It's a late one from Levi Colwill.
He's lunged it a long way to get his foot on his ankle. He's a lucky boy there.
Yeah, just a free kick, nothing more than that. And Elanga is fine. 18 gone, 0-0, free kick Forest. It's only 15 yards into the Chelsea half, left hand side. He was very late, Colwill, wasn't he?
Just stupid challenge. Elanga's going nowhere, he's gone in late. He's not actually caught him at all really, but he's gone down, but silly challenge. Back stick here, Milenkovic and Murillo, not marked by anybody at the moment, by two 5'8" lads.
Here's Anderson, drives it towards the back edge of the box for Murillo, brings it down, but he's offside. And that's Murillo will be disappointed with being offside in that position, because he's looking right across the line. It's a lovely ball.
Yep, it's the right ball.
very well brought down as well by Murillo. But the assistant with his flag up. Couple of goals to tell you about in the Premier League. They're not in the crucial matches, but Tottenham lead Brighton by 1-0. Tottenham on their homecoming as Europa League champions, with a season in the Champions League to look forward to. And Brentford have taken the lead against Wolves, and that puts Brentford back up into 8th, which could, with a very specific set of results, as Sangare turns brilliantly again away from Palmer with the ball and takes it away to halfway and finds Elanga right hand side. 8th place could come into the European reckoning, but that won't bother Forest, of course. Here's Nico Williams down the left hand side, rolls it backwards for Elliot Anderson, now level with the edge of the box, wide left. It's Gibbs White for Elanga to cross, headed away, and the flag is up for offside again. And I'm not sure it was when it was crossed into Chris Wood. I think there was perhaps an offside a little bit earlier in the move. But it's another Chelsea free kick. It remains 0-0, 20 minutes gone. Manchester City in front at Fulham. This has just gone in, so there's always the potential of goals being chalked off with VAR checks, of course, but at the moment Gundogan has put Manchester City in front. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. Nico Williams, diving header. He's presented the ball to Pedro Neto down the right hand side. He needed Murillo to get across and block, and off the block, rather than spin out for a corner, it's spun straight into the arms of Matt Sells, looping up in the air. I think Nico Williams was suggesting to the assistant referee on that far side that maybe he was having his shirt tugged by Neto or something.
I think he was too casual. There's a bit of a nudge, to be fair to Nico. Actually, I think it is a free kick.
Yeah,
in the replay, that's a free
off the
kick.
ball, yeah. There's Wood laying it off to halfway. Oh, that's late as well. That's Casado on Gibbs White. That is a yellow card challenge, surely. Really sure how that's not. That's really late on Gibbs White. And he's caught him right down the back of the calf. And he's a very lucky boy, Moises Caicedo.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he slid it. It's not a nasty one. There's no studs shown, really. I think we just legged him up from behind. Actually, slipped into the back of him.
Yeah, maybe the referee's seen that, to be fair to Anthony Taylor, and said, yeah, it's a slip. Yes, his other foot actually slid away from him, didn't it? So
on this occasion, Anthony Taylor probably got it right.
Yeah, what's the time? Here's Milenkovic for Ola Aina down the right hand side. Time is 22 minutes into the first half. It's 0-0. Here's Elanga running at them from the right hand side, drifting infield. Little ball into the box, doesn't reach Wood. Cleared by Tosin, but only as far as Aina, midway inside the Chelsea half, and he rolls it to his right for Dominguez, tucks it back again for Sangare. Rolls it backwards for Dominguez, 10 yards into Chelsea territory. And now it's Gibbs White down the left. He crosses, angled ball into the box, but headed away again by the blue shirts. Now Anderson, right hand side for Elanga. Early cross, near post, and it's cleared again towards the edge of the box, and it doesn't quite reach Ola Aina. Then it's banged away. Very strange direction as well. Forrest went it back again. Aina's cross flicked up in the air, and down goes Chris Wood as he's waiting for it back post, and then headed behind by Levi Colwell when he didn't have to, and it's a corner to Forest.
Yeah, it was a scruffy piece of play there from everybody really. The ball bouncing everywhere, ball put in the box, poor header from Cucurella, poor header from, I think it was Levi Colwell eventually, or Tosin. Wood couldn't get the ball and eventually put out behind the goal for a corner for Forest, put out eventually by Levi Colwell. The player's gone down there for Chelsea. I'm guessing it's Fernandez, if anybody, because he normally goes down at corners.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, it is Enzo Fernandez. Good spot.
Yeah, he's fine.
Just having a break, having a sit down, just allowed to have a sit down by the referee.
Well, it's because the home team have got the ascendancy and there's momentum, and let's kill it.
And then without needing any treatment, he gets back up again, so he doesn't have to have his 30 seconds off the pitch.
And a drink as well, for good measure.
Yeah, little drink.
It's not his compatriot who's in the Argentinian squad now, Nico Dominguez, next games they play.
Corner for Forest, Elanga to take down the right hand. Referee's blown his whistle because we've got some pushing inside the penalty area. Down went Reece James. Sangare's making his point. Milenkovic is making his point. And we'll just have a chat with them for 20 seconds or so to kill the game, to kill the momentum a little bit more, and then we'll just allow it to all start again. Reece James has got two hands in Sangare's chest at the moment as Elanga prepares to take the corner.
They're trying to clear the space for Milenkovic if they can.
In it comes from Elanga, and Milenkovic came in and he's caught Tosin a bit late in the aerial challenge.
Yeah, that was the plan, and it worked perfectly. It was a great ball in. Milenkovic got there at the right time, but Chelsea defended it really well. The two big guys got there first in the air. The timing of everything was spot on there.
0-0 here at the City Ground with 25 first half minutes played on the final day of the Premier League season, with so much at stake as Chelsea in danger of losing their way inside their own half again. Madueke under pressure from Elliot Anderson wins it. Madueke went down very easily. Anderson left hand side. Now Gibbs White trying to turn away from Cole Palmer. He has done, but he has to go slightly backwards for Aina, who is midway inside Chelsea territory. Gets it back again from Sangare. Dominguez outside him to his right. Here is Dominguez, plays it down the right wing for Elanga's run. Elanga faced by two, gives it to Gibbs White, just about. Good touch from Gibbs White to get it away from Palmer. Now here's Aina into Dominguez. Lovely first time layoff from Gibbs to Gibbs White, who then runs out of room as he tries to find Elanga down the right hand side.
That's still a great play. I mean, a one touch play, vision who's around you. I mean, balls are being pinged into people's feet and they're doing first time layoffs.
We just have a little delay again. A little delay again now, so Moises Caicedo can do his boot up.
Yeah, do it before the game starts.
Yeah, it's just that's interesting from Chelsea. I think that's a couple of players who've now just decided that they need to take a little bit of sting out of Forest at the moment, as Milenkovic wins a good battle with Neto on halfway. It's 0-0, 26 played.
Yeah, both those players you mentioned, who, with the greatest respect, play for South American teams who are good at the dark arts, the little things that matter in games.
Here's Cucurella down the left hand side for Sancho, again under pressure from Sangare. Just loses his way completely as he tried a little step over and knocked it straight out into touch. Short throw again. Sangare in danger of losing it here to Cole Palmer, and here is Palmer down the left hand side, left wing, bangs in a low cross. Milenkovic clears. That was a strange throw from Aina, really short into Sangare. He was under real pressure straight away. Here's Madueke down the right hand side, rolls it backwards, and further back it comes from Caicedo to Tosin. Now Colwill, left wing for Palmer. Cole Palmer faced by Nico Dominguez, checks out, goes backwards for Colwill again, and all the way back to Tosin. Reece James, a little ball round the corner for Caicedo. Caicedo down the right hand side for Madueke. 27 gone, 0-0. Chelsea with a spell of possession that they haven't enjoyed for a good few minutes. It's back to halfway they go. Forest yet to trouble Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper, despite having some decent moments around the penalty area, I think is how you'd describe it. Reece James, right hand side for Madueke, with a ball infield towards Fernandes. He goes down very easily. Murillo is adjudged to have shoved him over, but he was really looking for it, was Fernandes. Murillo just laughs, but he's got some serious defending to do here.
I mean, Fernandes is a big wide unit.
There's nothing,
but he's not getting the ball.
There's just nothing in it.
But he's clever, and that's what he does.
Threw himself down, and the referee bought it. 28 minutes played. Free kick then for Chelsea, which is only about 25 yards out, and it's right hand side. It's level with the left edge of the Forest penalty area, so they're on Chelsea's right. Two Chelsea players standing over the ball. And it's clipped into the 6-yard box and headed away by Sangare. Gibbs White then missed his further clearance. And Chelsea pick it up back to Caicedo. It's played by Reece James, and now they've worked it left-hand side. This is Madueke. Infield to Jadon Sancho, both wingers same side of the pitch at the moment for Chelsea. Back to Caicedo again, and Dominguez hassles him, sends it back to Tosin. Here's Caicedo again, under pressure again from Dominguez.
Here he goes, Caicedo. All trouble there.
Yeah. Caicedo, there's a little bit of a dig at Dominguez, but here come Chelsea with Madueke for Palmer. Low ball in and near post. It's Neto who gets a flick on it, but lifts it over the crossbar. And out for a goal kick to Forest. A little bit of danger from Chelsea, just starting to get going, and now the referee Anthony Taylor wants a chat with Caicedo, who had a little bit of afters with Nico Dominguez. I'm not quite sure why.
Dominguez caught him from behind quite late. He popped the ball off.
Yeah,
and Dominguez caught him late, and he didn't like that. He turned around and had a right go, and they were near enough eyeball to eyeball, and he wouldn't shake his hand there, Caicedo, when it was offered to him. The chance was a decent one for Neto. Good ball in from Palmer on the right hand side, this time with his right foot, just a fraction too high for a former Wolves man to get over the ball and get a better contact.
Good control that by Chris Wood. Langer is brought down by Cucurella off the ball, but now Elliot Anderson has found Nico Williams left wing. He clips over the cross, headed down and away by James. Wood keeps it alive for Forest, sends it back to Anderson, who's gone for goal and only just wide. We saw Sanchez off his line, and from wide on the left-hand side, he's curled one from about 30 yards out, and it didn't curl enough. It ends up wide, but just for a second you could see Robert Sanchez panicking as he thought that was sailing over his head and into his net.
Yeah, I mean, for a second I got visions of Jack Colback from that same area. Wide on the left, definite curler, because it's overhit the cross into the box by so much, but it must have been deliberate what he did. And yeah, I mean, it's a great effort. It's probably got a foot wide of the post.
It's a free kick here, which has been given against Elliot Anderson for a foul on Madueke.
I think he's going two-footed. I've just seen the replay. I think he can't really complain about that one.
It's a yellow card for Elliot Anderson. Madueke had just got away from Nico Williams. It's a scissor tackle, isn't it? He's kind of missed the ball and he's scissor tackled him.
I don't know why he's gone to ground really on the halfway line. Just shepherd him, let him go one way into bodies. But ideally, you don't get a yellow, half an hour into the game with Fernandez knocking around, and people are going to go down and look at that situation.
Yeah.
That may cost him in the second half. If it gets stretched, the game gets stretched, and he's lunging at people, he'll be off. So if I was a midfield Ryan Yates now, I'd be thinking, get ready. Yeah. Or dinner though.
Yeah. 32 minutes into the first half here at the City Ground. It's 0-0. Forest had a very good spell. Chelsea have just come back into things, and here's Madueke again, but cleared by Nico Williams. Caicedo gives it to Fernandez, who's turned away from Gibbs White, rolls it infield to Cucurella, who's not had much chance to get forward as that inverted fullback role in the game so far, but he's in the middle of midfield at the moment as the ball is back on halfway for Tosin. Looks like he didn't know whether to go left or right, ended up going right for Madueke, and then it's one off him by Nico Williams, but Elanga can't keep hold of the ball. Still only Manchester City winning at Fulham, and the games at the top of the Premier League, which are important for the Champions League race. It's Newcastle 0, Everton 0, Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0 here, Forest 0, Chelsea 0. But Manchester City, as I say, 1-0 up at Fulham. Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea on halfway, back for Reece James, and then Nico Williams, really good job to get in front of Madueke to win the ball, and lays it off now for Sangare. Little touch from him to Dominguez, and he stabs it to Murillo.
I think it's a good period now, just keep the ball a little bit, because we've chased the ball for the last 2 or 3 minutes really, so just a nice calm period now, just being in control of the football, let Chelsea chase it a little bit, but another Chelsea player's gone down.
Yeah, Reece James this time. I suspect he probably won't need treatment.
Head injuries.
Might have taken a bang in the face, I think, but no, Anthony Taylor just saying, no, he doesn't need to come off. No, he won't need treatment. He can just have a minute to get his breath back. For the third time in the first half. Matt Sells had the ball in his hand. Anthony Taylor ran halfway down the pitch, demanded that Matt Sells gave him the ball, and then threw it back to him to get us restarted. Dominguez for Ola Aina down the right hand side, but he ran into Cucurella, who wanted off him on halfway. Stabbed forward by Caicedo. Murillo gets in front of Neto and intercepts. Goes forward across halfway, Murillo, and now tries to lay it forward towards Chris Wood. It's cleared, but straight against Murillo again. And Reece James just manages to get there first and head it to Madueke. And now Murillo needs to get back because Chelsea have moved it quickly forward. This is Cucurella down the left hand side. 0-0 the score. Now Cole Palmer goes back into his own half, tracked by Dominguez, and goes all the way back to the Spanish goalkeeper Robert Sanchez, who sprays it out to the right hand side for Chelsea for Reece James midway inside his own half. Chelsea skipper up towards halfway, lays it outside him now for Neto. Pedro Neto running across halfway and tucks it back again. First for Tosin and now for Colwill, who finds Palmer and gives it back again to Levi Colwill. Slows things down to a stop on halfway. Rolls it infield now for Tosin. 0-0. Cucurella for Tosin into Cole Palmer. Little layoff. Neto goes down very easily under a challenge from Murillo. Referee waves play on. Forest cleared. Cucurella now goes down under a challenge from Dominguez.
I think he slipped
again. Which wasn't even a challenge. Dominguez is like, what? Shrugging his shoulders at him. Play goes on. Murillo steps in again and wins it, and Chris Wood gives it to Elanga, who's trying to get away from Colwill, and that was a hugely important block from Levi Colwill. He just got a foot in on Elanga, and Sanchez gets this back from Cucurella and just swipes it away into touch. It'll be a Forest throw. Elanga was a fraction from getting away and being in the clear. Now what's happening?
I don't know, it's just Anthony Taylor and Pedro Neto arguing with him. Yes, Colin, it was an important challenge from Colwill, because a square ball from Wood to Elanga, and he took the ball with his left foot around the corner and pushed it 5 yards. He was away, but Colwill blocked that off straight away and got a foot in.
Yeah, very good defending from Levi Colwill, very important defending. And here's Chris Wood sweeping the ball back from halfway to Matt Sells because Neto was threatening to get away. And Sells clears out towards the right wing. Cucurella heads it away from Elanga, who was offside. Flag goes up. More howls of derision from the Forest supporters. Remains 0-0.
Yes, a game that's, as you'd imagine, tense.
Yeah.
Not much quality so far in the final third. Defences well on top. Any ball from Forest in the box has been in the air, really. A couple of the near posts have been cut out. And Chelsea have had the one decentish chance from Neto for a good cross from Cole Palmer. So at the moment, it's, as you would imagine, very cagey.
Sanchez clears on his left foot. Milenkovic wins a towering header in the centre circle, and Reece James heads it back to Sanchez once again. 7 minutes to go until half time. Elsewhere, the champions Liverpool are still trailing Crystal Palace at Anfield. As Chelsea clear from the edge of their penalty area. Milenkovic though wins it and Gibbs White with a clever touch, but only went to Enzo Fernandez. A bit unfortunate, and then a good tackle by Williams on Madueke, and out it goes for a throw to Chelsea 20 yards inside the Forest half. Thrown down the line to Fernandez. His ball infield is easily collected by Murillo. Now here's Gibbs White. The ball infield towards Anderson. Had to move it quickly to get it out from under his feet. And now here's Murillo once again back on the edge of his penalty area for Milenkovic, and Murillo once more. Out to his left for Williams. Williams tucks it back for Murillo again.
It's a bit of period of possession from Forest. They are leaving our left side with Nico Williams really open in the right back area to try and get Ward. That's a free kick.
Yep, and it's given by Anthony Taylor. Reece James bringing down Chris Wood. There was a bit of a wrestling match going on between the two of them, but as the ball was sailing over their heads and Wood was trying to turn to run after it, Reece James just left his body there a little bit too long for Anthony Taylor's liking. And the free kick is given against him. I think it was clever play by Chris Wood as well.
Yeah, he's backed in, rolled him, and he's a big man, Chris Wood. We'll see what this situation can offer us now. To take him quickly to the left wing to Elanga.
Elanga, faced by Cole Palmer at the moment, tries to run past him and has run past him, or Palmer has just about got back to him. Forest fans yelling for a penalty as he went down inside the box. It wasn't. Madueke tackled by Nico Williams, didn't like it, but it's out for a throw.
Good play though. I like the fact that they got one against Cole Palmer. To fair to him, he got back and made a really good tackle. You wouldn't trust him 9 times out of 10 that situation, because not obviously a natural defender. He took a bit of a risk.
Yeah, Elanga against Palmer, just inside the box. You kind of want that, don't you?
Yeah.
Throw for Chelsea. Reece James short to Madueke, gives it in back. That's deflected off Nico Williams. Elanga wrestling for it with Caicedo, and it's Chelsea who come away with the ball. And here's Cole Palmer, 20 yards inside his own half, to give it to Tosin, and he gives it right hand side now for Reece James. He gives it to Madueke. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. It's Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0, Newcastle 0, Everton 0, Forest 0, Chelsea 0. In the Champions League race on the final day. Aina for Dominguez, halfway inside his own half. He turns straight into Cole Palmer, but then he wins it back. But he's battling with 3 at the moment, Dominguez, and in the end wins. Should have won his team a throw, I thought. And it went out of play off Jadon Sancho last, but it is a Chelsea throw which they've taken back into their own half. Arsenal have just taken the lead at Southampton by 1-0 in second place. Defeat for Southampton, they would be their 30th in this Premier League season. Here's Cucurella. He's found himself some space inside the Forest half, lays it to his left for Jadon Sancho. Sancho trying to take on Ola Aina and has fired over the cross, but doesn't beat Milenkovic at the near post. Chris Wood tries to nod it down to Sangare, does. Sangare now for Gibbs-White. He's got away from Caicedo and feeds it forward towards Elanga on halfway. Elanga leaves it now for Nico Williams, who's taken it over from him on the overlap. Now backheels it back to Elanga, and now here's Gibbs-White with some space. Quickly closed down though by Cole Palmer. Gives it Sangare, and now Dominguez for Ola Aina down the right. Aina with a low cross near post, and Chris Wood goes just over the crossbar. He was running across the front of Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper, and he got his foot to it, but he couldn't keep it down. It's just over. It's a fraction over the bar. Forest that close from going in front. It's a really good move from back to front and left to right, which ends with Chris Wood putting it just over the crossbar.
Yeah, it was a brilliant move from the far side. Great play from Elanga and Williams to get the ball high up the pitch. Then it was transferred from Gibbs-White, Dominguez, and then to the far side. Aina's right foot curled a beautiful ball to the near post. No Chelsea player went with Chris Wood to the near post, and the keeper came flying out to try and punch it as the ball landed bang on the edge of the 6-yard box. All he could do is get a toe on it, Chris Wood, and try and divert it towards goal. Got a fraction too much on it, just over the crossbar. Best chance today, not an easy one, but doable for him this season.
Can't quite add to his 20 goals that he's got so far this season, but it remains 0-0. And here is Jadon Sancho. He finds Cucurella halfway inside the Forest half here, left hand side. Sancho trying to run away from Dominguez, and Dominguez showing him the corner flag, and Sancho has to go backwards and gives it straight to Sangare, who takes on Cucurella, and then stabs a lovely ball down the right hand side for Ola Aina. And now Forest break. Aina switches it to Gibbs-White with a lovely ball. Gibbs-White tried to feed it through to Elanga, and it's just blocked on the edge of the penalty area, and then Kukurea knocks it away for a throw. Really good defending again.
And Sangare, great play deep in his own area, no panic on the edge of the box, the byline, but great feet and a cute little ball down the side for Ola Aina, and then we worked it from there to inside to Gibbs-White. He's facing the D area, he's got a pass to his right about 10 yards away, a slide rule pass, tries to find Elanga with that pass, he gets cut out by a Chelsea body.
It's good footing. I think it was Tosin of the two central defenders that managed to get his toe in and just got the block on it.
I've seen quite a few times Ola Aina just waltz past the defenders or not being tracked at all by Jadon Sancho today. Lots of room to play in. Great
ball in from him to Gibbs-White square, and it was Gibbs-White's ball through to Elanga that was just cut out. Here is Elanga winning it well against
yellow card. It's a yellow card.
That has to be a yellow card. He's gone past him, he's been dragged down. It's been a yellow card all season long. But no, nothing from Anthony Taylor. He's booked Elliot Anderson rightly in this first half, but all season players have gone past players, and when they've been dragged down, it's been a yellow card, to the extent that we just know it's coming.
Yeah, that was absolutely scandalous decision not to give that yellow.
Forest free kick, 15 yards into the Chelsea half. We're only playing 1 minute of added time at the end of the half. Anderson drives it too close to the goalkeeper as it's arrowed into the penalty area, and Robert Sanchez claims it with no pressure and is in no hurry. Here's Robert Sanchez to get on with this. Half time at St James's Park. It's Newcastle 0, Everton 0. Meanwhile at Old Trafford it is still 0-0, but Aston Villa are down to 10 men, and it's Emi Martinez who's been sent off. The Aston Villa goalkeeper has been sent off. That's half time here at the City Ground. It's 0-0 here. It's 0-0 in all of those matches that Forest are interested in up and down the country, but boy is that interesting at Old Trafford, where Aston Villa will presumably have Robin Olsen in goal now, replacing Martinez, but are down to 10 men in a must-win match for them. Here it's 0-0. There hasn't been a half full of many chances. Forest have been bright, Forest have been lively. Sangare's been excellent in the middle of midfield, you have to say that. And the best chance coming towards the end of the half, with a lovely move from one end of the field to the other. Sangare involved. Aina with a cross in the end of it to Chris Wood, who got across Robert Sanchez near post and just sort of toe poked it really, because it was all he could do, just striving to get there ahead of Sanchez, and just steered it just over the crossbar. Barely a chance for Chelsea and barely anything else for Robert Sanchez to do in that first half, but you'd say, I think, Steve Hodge, that Forest have just about shaded the first half, albeit at the break it's 0-0.
Yeah, just about what I expected. Chelsea at times great possession on the ball, moving the ball around. Madueke's looked sharp at times, but got no joy out of Nico Williams. And Elanga's looked sharp at times, and all our forward players have got quite a lot of the ball, to be fair, in that half, and got not been starved of the ball at all. So an interesting game, as I say. Chelsea do keep the ball possession wise. We're dropping deep. We're leaving the left hand side free to Nico Williams to have a go at Madueke, see if he wants to get back. Jadon Sancho doesn't want to chase Ola Aina back. Lots of little subplots, little battles on the football field, but it's just, I'm looking at the sunshine now thinking, wow, it's going to be a tough second half for these 22, 26 players, when the subs come on eventually. But at half time, quite content with that. We're playing pretty well. We're getting in behind a few times. Nothing's transpired so far apart from Chris Wood's near post run and a great cross from Aina, and a possible chance there, a possible goal, but it wasn't to be on that occasion. Kept Chelsea pretty much at bay. It's very cagey. I mentioned before the game, like you've seen at Villa Park, you don't want, Villa Park at Man United, you want no red cards today, otherwise it makes life completely difficult. Elliot Anderson's on a yellow card, that may be a big issue at half time for Nuno to think about. So all in all, what I expected before the game, bright, both teams technically very good defences at both ends. I think it may take one goal today, Colin, that maybe the one might do it.
And the thing is, we've been saying all week, Steve, that yes, on the face of it, you'd expect the likes of Aston Villa to go to Manchester United and win. Newcastle you would expect them to beat Everton, but it only takes a red card or something in a game and anything could happen. I think Manchester United could beat 10-man Aston Villa in the second half.
Well, they might not win, they might not lose.
No, they might not lose. But they might win. I mean, the stats at half-time in that game, you can't read anything much into stats without seeing the game, but on the stats, Manchester United are all over over Aston Villa.
I think both these teams will know that at half-time. They'll both be told that.
That's the point, isn't it? That
they both
if
know.
a team here can get in front, boy, does that add the pressure in those other grounds.
Absolutely. And Nuno says about not letting teams know the scores. All our players will asking the subs at half-time what's happening elsewhere, and that will be the talk of the town, that Villa aren't winning and have got 10 men. So there's your incentive. Then forget about it. We've got a good team to beat today, and they are a good team with some excellent players. Defensively, very, very strong. It's going to take either a free kick or penalty or something really cute from one of our star players to get the all-important goal today. And I do think one goal is going to win it.
And we shall see if Forest can get it, because if they can, it could mean an awful lot. 45 minutes of the season to go, and at the break, it's Forest 0, Chelsea 0.
Colin Frey, Steve Hodge, thank you very much indeed. United have hit the post as well, by the way, in that first 45 minutes. Martinez sent off, so Villa will play the second half. It is half-time there at Old Trafford now, 0-0, but Villa down to 10. Very interesting indeed. That would be good news for Forest. Good news as well from St James's Park, where Newcastle 0, Everton 0 at the moment. Manchester City, who Forest can't catch anyway, they are winning. Ilkay Gundogan putting them ahead away at Fulham. Elsewhere, Bournemouth-Leicester 0-0. James Ward-Prowse has scored for West Ham. They lead at Ipswich. Crystal Palace are ruining Liverpool's title party at Anfield. It's Liverpool 0, Palace 1. Ismail Assar with the goal early on, 9 minutes in. And it is Southampton 0, Arsenal 1. Kieran Tierney with the goal just before half-time. Remember, there's that race for the Golden Glove at the end of the season. David Raya of Arsenal and Matt Sells of Forest, both on 13 clean sheets. You would expect Arsenal to keep a clean sheet there, so if Sells can here, then they'll share that particular honour. Spurs, Europa League winners, beating Brighton 1-0, Dominic Solanke penalty, and Brentford 1-0 up at Wolves through Bayern and Bumo. It's match day on BBC Radio Nottingham. Let's head to Headingley, get the latest on the cricket. Dave Bracegirdle.
Going to be a late old finish here, David. Still 32 overs to go in the day. That's a good 2 hours worth of cricket. Yorkshire 83 for 1. The only success so far, Dylan Pennington, who had Finley Bean LBW for 17. Yorkshire, remember, have been set 463 in 153 overs. Patience is the name for Nottinghamshire. They've only got the 1 wicket so far. Yorkshire 83 for 1.
There's such an energy to it.
This is crazy. One of the most chaotic but most incredible gigs I've ever been to.
For over 20 years, Download has grown to be the UK's biggest rock festival.
I always feel like, we're home when we play Donington.
Big expectation to fill.
Okay, this was the greatest show of our careers.
I feel my hands sweating talking about it, reliving it.
Journey through its history with the man who's been there from the start.
Getting it off the ground was really something.
This is the distorted DNA of Download Festival. Listen now on BBC Sound.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
David Jackson here at the City Ground. I think everybody involved in these discussions around the ground, all the fans and the players, will be doing the same as well, that other results are kind of going their way at the moment. The fact that Newcastle are being held, the fact that Villa are down to 10 men and aren't winning away at Manchester United, all means that a goal for Forest here would mean Champions League football next season. It's been an entertaining first half, if lacking in too many clear goal scoring chances, but they've found a way through a Forest, through that Chelsea defence. They have to see if they can get through and get the ball in the net one time. Now, of course, Forest will be playing European football next year, and it could still be Champions League. Frank Clark was part of the 1979 European Cup winning team. That was his last game, by the way, in competitive football. Frank Clark, he then went on to manage Forest, of course, to the quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup in the mid-90s, and even later became chairman. So the prospect of seeing the Reds back in Europe is rather exciting for him.
It's wonderful for the club, for the players, for the owner, for the supporters. Absolutely terrific. I mean, every season when the fixtures come out, I'm in the habit of looking at the last game of the season and thinking, we might need a point or two there to stay up and not get relegated. That's what I've been thinking about for the last few years. But to be in a position now where we might qualify for the Champions League is just wonderful.
That is Frank Clark, Mr. Nottingham Forest in many ways, having done just about every job here. So European football on the horizon, of course. Mark Crossley's been talking to us over the last few weeks, and for our Shut Up and Show More Football podcast, with his memories of being part of Frank Clark's team in the mid-90s that reached the quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup, as it was then, losing over 2 legs to Bayern Munich in the quarters. 30 years ago, that was in 1995-96.
Oh God, it was amazing, really. I mean, the support and how we did as a team, totally against the odds. We wasn't expected to do anything, and I think when we got through against Malmo, and then we kept 5 clean sheets in 6 games. And I remember going to Auxerre, and my memory of it was Alan Hill put a paper in front of me, and it was in French, and it said, when we translated it, it said, Forest's weakest link is their fat goalkeeper who's slow and can't get down to the ball and all that. So, and that was brilliant from Alan Hill, because it gave me the mental capacity to be able to go and say, I'll prove you wrong. And that's what I needed as a player anyway. But as a team, the performances, I know Frank decided to play 2 holding midfield players. And again, similar to today, how Forest are doing, we'll soak up the pressure and catch teams on the counter. And we did that. And we did it superbly, and got to the quarterfinals. So it was a great experience for the club, great experience for all the players, and totally against the odds. So it was probably one of my finest times at the football club, to be fair.
I was thinking, actually, as we were talking about current day Forest, and we were talking about keeping clean sheets and then using their pace and hitting teams on the counter-attack and soaking up pressure as they have done, allowing teams to have the ball. I'm thinking then, yeah, it's not too dissimilar from the way Frank Clark set up in that European campaign.
Absolutely.
Based on clean sheets, wasn't it? That's
what we were told to do, if we can, and we did it against Olympique Lyon as well, some great French players, I look back at the team sheets and you see some of the players that we actually played against, especially the Bayern Munich, when we went to the Olympic Stadium there and come away with what we thought we still had a chance. And then I think for half an hour at home, we kind of like battered them but couldn't score. And then I made a mistake from Christian Ziger's free kick, which eventually was too much to get back. But the way we set up with 2 holding midfield players, which we used to have like a midfield player that was a box to box, but I think we had David Phillips, Chris Bart-Williams, from what I remember, because it's a long time ago. But I know we were definitely told that we will play with 2 holding midfield players in front of a back 4, let them come on to us, and if we can keep a clean sheet, we know that we can always catch these teams on the break. And it's exactly what happened through all 6 games that we were involved in. So it was a tactical bit of genius from Frank.
And just a word about that Bayern Munich quarter-final, because I know it, as you mentioned, it didn't end well at the City Ground in the end.
No.
That Bayern team that was basically a Germany international team, Matthäus and Klinsmann and Kahn in goal and all the rest of it. Eager, as you mentioned already, so many names in that team. But that night in the Olympic Stadium over there, for Steve Chettle to score, to only come away with a 2-1 defeat that night, I think they'd scored first, didn't they? And then checked the equaliser very soon after.
Yeah.
And at the time they scored, I guess their fans were all thinking, right, here we go. We'll get 4 or 5 tonight. Chet equalises, and you come away with a 2-1. I mean, yes, you lost, but that was a fabulous night, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I think it was kind of like an attitude that we're going into these games with nothing to lose, really. We're here on merit and we're just going to enjoy it. And that's what we did. And the only tactical decision was to play with holding midfield players and maybe get a goal from a set play like we did with Chet's header. You missed Jean-Pierre Papin as well. He played up front.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
So, yeah, big lad from Barnsley trying to keep Jean-Pierre Papin. Sometimes you have to pinch yourself,
Mark Crossley, former Forest keeper, speaking with Colin Fray for our Shut Up and Show More Football podcast. The Chelsea subs are just coming out. They've not been out through half-time. The Forest ones have, out in the sunshine, away to the left-hand side. They may have been in there discussing the situation regarding the other teams at half-time, because with the score at United 0, Villa 0, and with Villa down to 10 men, if Villa don't win that, then a point will be enough for Chelsea, of course, to stay inside the Champions League places. But it also does open the door for Forest, because a win for Forest would give them a top 5 spot at the expense of Chelsea and see them overtake them. So there's going to be a few things like that throughout the afternoon for Colin Fray and Steve Hodge to navigate their way through for the second 45 minutes here on BBC Radio Nottingham. As it stands, no goals here at the City Ground. The second half on the way shortly. It's 5:05.
Radio 1 big weekend, how we feeling?
This is jumping up and down to Sam Fender, getting goosebumps as Sugar Babes plays the hangers from Mumford & Sons. This is Big Weekend's energy.
Let me hear you scream!
Sam Fender, Jade, Tom Grennan and more. Radio 1's Big Weekend.
Liverpool!
Watch on iPlayer, listen on BBC Sounds.
Match day.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
David Jackson here at the City Ground, where Colin Fray, Nottingham Forest, are a goal away from playing in next season's Champions League. Just to spell that out, as it stands at the moment, that's how far away it is.
Yeah, I mean, we said, didn't we, the final day of the season can throw up some strange things sometimes, and I've just seen that Emi Martinez challenge.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
10 yards outside his box.
Bizarre.
And also not only being 10 yards outside his box, but then a blatant body check. And you know, that's what I mean about the last day of the season can do strange things. Now it really is about Forest just focusing on getting the game won if they can. I mean, I think they've played lively and bright enough in that first half, but you know, Steve mentioned at the start of half time there that probably, or was it during commentary, that probably not quite enough quality yet in the final third, that it's going to need a spark. It needs an upping of quality in that final third, because Sanchez hasn't really been bothered. Just that one speculative effort from wide left from Elliot Anderson that had him backpedaling a couple of steps and a bit worried, I think. But apart from that, he's not been troubled. And so while Forest have looked great and they've looked as if they can cause Chelsea a lot of problems, they actually haven't yet.
Just one thing to clarify as well, because of the Aston Villa situation, it will mean that if it stays like this, Chelsea of course remain above Villa, so Forest will stay 7th, and that will mean that Forest would end up in the Conference League, because Chelsea would be 5th, qualify for the Champions League, and therefore the result of the Conference League final next week wouldn't make an impact on 7th place. So actually, if it does stay like this, if the Villa game does stay, Forest might as well just go for it. They might as well throw everything at
anyway,
it.
haven't they?
Yeah, but they might as well throw absolutely everything. There is even then no outside chance of it being Europa League if Chelsea did them a favour next week. Not that you want to be relying on that, but they've got nothing to lose.
No, because we were looking at this in the week, weren't we? There was that strange situation where if Aston Villa draw, then it would benefit Forest more in a way for Aston Villa to win if Forest could get above Chelsea as well. But you know, you're in that strange situation at the moment with Aston Villa drawing. I mean, Forest are just...
Well, they're all drawing at the moment. Everybody's
drawing.
So it's no change.
So if they can capitalise on that, and you know, we're talking as if it's a foregone conclusion at Manchester United. It isn't. As I've just said, you know, we've seen 10 men beat 11 men before, and Steve said to me off air as well, and I don't mind repeating it, that you don't know what's going to happen. United might get a red card of their own, because it's the last day of the season and silly things happen. So you don't know what's going to happen in that game. But even more so now than all day it's been about Forest going and winning and taking the opportunity if they possibly can, and then seeing what's happened elsewhere. But with that news from elsewhere, it's there for Forest. It's there. It might be there. we won't know for another 45-50 minutes.
Yeah, well, the players are out, the Forest players anyway, still awaiting the Chelsea players, but that's why you heard a cheer. No changes at half-time from Nuno, so the Forest players are out, all set to attack towards the Trent end for the second half. If other results stay, a goal for Forest will be enough to see them play in the Champions League next season. Colin Frey and Steve Hodge will keep you in touch with the other scores that matter, of course, and crucially with this one. Forest against Chelsea on BBC Radio Nottingham, on FM, on digital radio, online and on your smart speaker as well. It's Forest Chelsea. It's goalless at the moment. There is drama still on the way in the next 45 minutes. Here we go, Colin Frey.
Of that you can be guaranteed. Somewhere along the line there is going to be drama at the three grounds that are at the very thick of this Champions League race. A Champions League race now that Forest have taken down to the last 45 minutes of football, and it is still there from them. It could have been pretty much taken away from them in the first half. You didn't know what was going to happen at the other grounds. Newcastle and Aston Villa could both have been 3 up at half time and game's done. It's not. It's on a knife edge all around the country, and Forest very much part of that. As Anthony Taylor gets players ready, Chelsea coach just kicked a couple of balls onto the pitch, don't know why, because Anthony Taylor looks ready to get us underway with the match ball on the centre circle for Cole Palmer. Here come the Scarves again for the final time at the City Ground, ahead of a half of football in this remarkable season. It's Mull of Kintyre to try and inspire Forest to go and get the goal that they need, as Cole Palmer gets us underway and sends the ball back to Robert Sanchez. Good foot in from Sangare to win the ball for his team in the middle of his own half, and then he's fouled, and Forest get the first free kick of the second half. 0-0 the score, as play resumes here and at Old Trafford and at St James's Park, all at almost exactly the same times. That's important as well, isn't it, that one game isn't miles in front of another. Of course, you never know how much stoppage time there's going to be, but they've all got underway roughly at the same sort of times around the country. Gibbs White levered off the ball by Moises Caicedo, who gives it to Fernandes. That's a poor ball. Nico Williams intercepts and then runs away from Fernandes. Referees wave play on because he was brought down, but the ball's broken for Anderson. Anderson down the left wing for Elanga, who gets to the ball ahead of Tosin, but can't keep it in play. It just sort of bobbles off his knee and out for a throw to Chelsea. 6'5" Tosin at the heart of defence for Chelsea. We're seeing him, he's 27 now. We're seeing him as a young player on loan from Manchester City and then at Fulham. He's filled out a bit over the years. He is a huge unit at the back. And now there's a foul by Sangare on Neto on halfway.
Switch on.
Taken quickly, but too quickly by, for referee Anthony Taylor. Trying to get Jadon Sancho away down the left-hand side in behind Ola Aina, but the referee wasn't prepared for them to take the free kick. They've gone short this time with it across halfway. And now here's Cucurella finding Sancho again down the left-hand side. Now Cole Palmer back for Jadon Sancho, and Sancho looking for Cucurella, but overhits the pass into the penalty area, and that's easy for Matt Sells to come out and dive at Cucurella's feet, well in front of those feet, and claim the ball. Bowls it out left-hand side towards Murillo, who now gives it to Nico Williams. Back for Murillo again.
Oh, not there.
No,
not there.
He's in trouble. Lost out to Madueke, and now Neto down the right wing digs out a ball to Enzo Fernandez, who's 30 yards out and goes across field for Colwill. And Colwill now for Cucurella. Now Sancho again down the left-hand side. 3 minutes gone, second half. 0-0. Work back towards halfway for Colwill and then Tosin. Tosin turns, fizzes out a ball to Neto wide on the right-hand side. Neto cutting infield onto his left foot. Dangerous cross back post. Aina gets up and heads it away. It'll come out though for Cucurella. Cucurella, 25 yards. Lays it off now for Enzo Fernandez. Now down the line from Sancho to Cole Palmer, who crosses. Milenkovic blocks and there'll be a Chelsea corner. Chelsea have come out the block second half a bit quicker than Forest.
Yeah, a little bit. And actually, it's a long time ago now. It all came from Murillo just trying to be too fancy down below us. With quick feet in the ball area. He should have gone long probably early in the second half, but tried to be a little bit fancy. And 2 minutes later, they've got a corner on the left wing.
Neto across to take. And Cole Palmer, the short option at the moment. He has given it to Cole Palmer. Now for Caicedo's 30 yards out. Back to Palmer, wide on the left-hand side, level with the edge of the box. Crossing, Murillo gets up and heads away from 6 yards out. Knocked back in by Cucurella, and that might fall for Neto. And now it's going to fall at the back post for Levi Colwill. Levi Colwill scores for Chelsea. It's a massive blow to Forest. 4 minutes into the second half. It fell loose to Levi Colwill. There was a little nudge inside the penalty area, just a little back header, which caught Forest in trouble. And then it was rolled across to the back post. And Levi Colwill, the man whose own goal at Wembley put Forest in the Premier League, has now put a big dent in their hopes of Champions League football. It's advantage Chelsea on the final day. 4 minutes into the second half. Forest 0, Chelsea 1.
I mean, the corner's taken short. We didn't really get anyone near Cole Palmer on the ball. He put the ball in the box. And the ball bobbed around. It's cleared first, I think, by Aina. And a little ball back into the box. Just caught Nico Williams coming out quickly, but he couldn't really direct his header where he wanted to. And he headed it back into an area behind himself. And that's when Neto got on the ball, spread it across the face of the 6 yard box. And on the far side, Levi Colwill couldn't really miss. And that is ironic that he scored.
Yep, huge irony on the final day of the season, 3 years apart. And that's given away now by Sangare to Madueke, and he's racing away down the right-hand side and into the penalty area. Squirts a ball across the face of goal, banged away with his fist by Sells, and Forest have managed to get it clear, and now they can break. Here's Gibbs-White for Anderson down the left-hand side. Anderson with Elanga ahead of him. Here is Anthony Elanga. Anderson goes ahead of him again. Elanga, though, going on, taking them on the edge of the penalty area, fires a shot which is blocked by Cole Palmer and spins and bobbles into the arms of Robert Sanchez. Interestingly, just as Matt Sells is conceding here in the race for the Golden Glove, Southampton has scored against Arsenal. Southampton 1, Arsenal 1, so that keeps Sells and Raya level in terms of the number of clean sheets this season, and so there'll be a share of the Golden Glove for Matt Sells, and that's well deserved. Here's Murillo for Forest, who need goals now. Flicked on by Anderson down the left wing for Elanga. Elanga away from Reece James. Can he keep that in play? Yes, he can. Squares it back towards Wood and knocked away by the goal scorer, Levi Colwill. Out for a throw down the left-hand side. Nico Williams to take. Chelsea leading Forest by a 1-0. Williams throws the ball back for Murillo, who's 35 yards out left side, crosses back post, and it's easily headed away by Sancho and straight down to Neto. Neto racing into the Forest half. He's on his own, but he's got away from Sangare. No, he hasn't quite got away from Sangare. He thought he was fouled. Referee waved play on. Anderson wanted to let this run past him, but when he did so, Caicedo took it off him, and Chelsea have it again. Elsewhere, still Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0, and Newcastle 0, Everton 0. And Manchester City are still leading 1-0 at Fulham. Chipped back by Madueke into his own half. Chris Wood putting Tosin under pressure, and he lays it off now for the goal scorer Colwill. Colwill finds Cole Palmer down the left-hand side. Palmer running at Forest again, lays it off for Sancho. Sancho slows things down, now gives it to Cole Palmer again. Palmer, low cross, blocked by Aina. And it's out for a corner. Just sense that one or two signs of some heads going down out there. They need to lift themselves a bit, Forest here.
Yeah, absolutely they do. Just get an equaliser with 10 to go and this place will be absolutely bouncing.
Yeah.
Because even a draw might be acceptable if Villa can get beat at Manchester United, although you wouldn't bank on that, but at the moment get through this difficult period.
Corner. Again, Chelsea take it short to Cole Palmer.
Done him again.
He gives it back again, and the chipped ball up towards the back edge of the penalty area. Anderson got his head to it. Now Sangare clears on the volley, and it hits Anthony Taylor, so it'll be a drop ball. Actually spun right kindly for Chelsea, so they're saying, shouldn't it be our ball? It won't be. It'll be a drop ball uncontested for Forest near the edge of their own penalty area. Here comes Callum Hudson-Odoi for Forest against his old club, of course. Off the bench, first substitution from Nuno. No surprise to see that as a response. Gone one down. It was an ugly sort of goal, really, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, you see that ball that's playing there, I wish he'd have played that 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, Murillo down the left-hand side to Nico Williams, who's trying to get away from Reece James. He's just about strong enough to hold him up. And then Williams trying to win it back, goes to ground, and just that gave Reece James the chance to clear it, but he sliced it horribly out of play. Throw taken quickly down the left-hand side.
Good foul.
And that's going to be a goal kick as it's played by Madueke off Elliot Anderson. A little bit behind the play here. Enzo Maresca had chucked a ball back onto the pitch on halfway when Forest were taking their throw 10 yards from the byline, and he immediately apologised for it and was straight across to the fourth official to say sorry. The crowd didn't like it, and it didn't affect anything.
Forest now have really got to, their staff in particular have got to be hot on all these antics, because obviously even a draw for Chelsea would see them at the moment in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So they're going to slow everything down, every trick in the book, and let's hope Anthony Taylor is switched on to that.
Lovely touch from Anderson to bring the ball down. Nico Williams needs some help now, but he's turned away from Neto nicely, and that's helped on by Gibbs White to Chris Wood. Wood now for Elanga, and Elanga takes on Caicedo, who trips it
again.
That's got to be a yellow this time, and it is. Caicedo is booked, and a free kick to Forest, which is only about 10 yards inside the Chelsea half.
Dominguez, Elliot Anderson booked.
It'll be one of the midfielders, won't it? It's Sangare. I think
he's done all right, to be fair.
Yeah, he's played well today.
Yeah, he has.
Ibrahim Sangare, and quite rightly he gets a standing ovation as he comes off. I think he's had an excellent, just short of an hour. Yeah. He is the man who's sacrificed, really, isn't he, for the sake of shape, to get an extra attacker on. Hudson-Odoi down the left-hand side, and Ibrahim Sangare looks a little bit disappointed to be coming off, and I'm not surprised, because that first half particularly was probably as dominant as we've seen him in a Forest midfield. Murillo takes the free kick, headed on by Dominguez towards Wood. I think he'd have been offside, but he's lofted it over the crossbar with his volley, but he was well offside, Chris Wood. And flag goes up, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Now, look, Sanchez with this ball. Anthony Taylor's actually having a go to him now. He's saying, I'm on your case, I'm watching. There needs to be constant though, because they're going to waste, if they can, 5 minutes easily on these goal kicks.
And we'll see how much of that is going to be added on later on, but much later on. There's a long way to go yet. 12 minutes into the second half, and Chelsea in front through Levi Colwill's goal. 5 minutes into the second half. Here's Milenkovic for Ola Aina, halfway inside his own half, down the line to Elanga, little ball infield to Dominguez.
This way.
Nice first time layoff. Dominguez in towards the feet of Chris Wood. Wood turns, lays it off to his left now for Williams. Williams down the line towards Hudson-Odoi. First touch. Hudson-Odoi into the feet of Anderson, lays it off for Williams, and his attempted ball across the edge of the penalty area is deflected away. Forest pick it up again. Aina for Elanga, who's now wide right. Forest back into a 4-2-3-1 shape. Elanga held up by 2, goes backwards for Aina, and Aina under pressure from Sancho now finds Gibbs White. Gibbs White for Elanga. Elanga down the right hand side still. Forest stuck really 25 yards out. Aina though gives it to Elanga. Elanga with the burst of pace and the cross, and cleared by Caicedo and out for a Forest corner.
Yeah, nice patient play down on the right hand side. Eventually got Aina on the outside, Elanga on the outside, and a good cross to the byline. Again, the Chelsea guys on the near post do their job.
Anthony Elanga to take the corner for Forest from the right hand side. Right footed, out swinging corner. Chelsea, everybody back within 10 yards of the byline to defend. In it comes. Oh, it's too close to Robert Sanchez, and it's an easy catch for the goalkeeper. Just kind of chipped up really, wasn't it, rather than
into a bad area. I don't know, 6'5", 6'6", and he's a giant of a keeper. Anything in that area, he just commands it easily. He did there.
Chelsea 1 up. Elsewhere, Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0, and Newcastle 0, Everton 0. As we know, Forest not great at coming back in matches when they concede the first goal. But the fans are going to try and do their bit to lift them. Chip forward by Chelsea down the left-hand side. Cucurella, ball taken off him by Milenkovic, but at the expense of a Chelsea throw. Cucurella and the ball in his hands, 10 yards from the corner flag. Ready to throw it in, but hasn't yet. Now has. Down the line to Sancho, comes back for Palmer. Palmer wriggling into the penalty area, trying to get away from Dominguez, and his shot then is deflected by Milenkovic up into the arms of Sells. An hour played at the City Ground on the final day of the season. Forest are behind, but an equaliser could yet bring them Europa League football, depending what happens second half at Old Trafford, where Aston Villa are involved. Change for Chelsea now. Romeo Lavia is coming on, and he's replacing Jadon Sancho. Sancho comes off.
Yeah, Lavia's an excellent player. Actually had a bad injury last year, I think an ACL, missed the whole season more or less, but I mean, playing for Southampton, I think he went to Man City's academy as well. You probably know Tosin. Very good player. Defensive midfielder, as you'd imagine now with Chelsea.
Williams for Forest. Finding Murillo. And now he has it again. He stabbed a lovely ball inside left channel for Gibbs White, trying to get away from Tosin, who gets a foot across and concedes a corner. Lovely ball from Murillo into Gibbs White.
It was, just punched it down the channel with his left foot and got Gibbs White in behind. Actually a bad touch from Gibbs White. The ball got away from him, but he chased down the defender, forced a corner.
Good noise around the City Ground as Elliot Anderson takes a corner. That's gone very deep, and it's headed back across the face of goal. Then there's a touch, and then Tosin heads it off the line. Goalkeeper was right with him. Now it's coming down for Murillo. His shot is blocked. Aina swings his left boot at it from 25 yards, but it's way over the crossbar and out for a goal kick. And it remains 1-0 Chelsea, 17 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, Anthony Taylor though is in the D area. Chris Wood saying to him, come on, get this goalkeeper doing stuff. Just rolling the ball to each other. So frustrating, but if you're in their shoes, you do exactly the same.
Noise around the places. Ramping up. Scarves are a-twirling. Milenkovic wants this to go all the way back to Matt Sells, and then Milenkovic got a shove as Sells came out to the edge of his penalty area. He got a shove from Cole Palmer. And that took him into Matt Sells, as Sells had cleared anyway, and it is a free kick. Here's Dominguez inside his own half for Milenkovic, and now for Murillo, and for Milenkovic again. Here's Milenkovic up to halfway, swings a long ball towards the left wing, looking for Hudson-Odoi. It's a lovely ball. It got in behind Reece James, but Hudson-Odoi having to battle to try and keep it in play, and couldn't do so, and it'll be a Chelsea throw. And now Palmer's gone down off the ball, inside the centre circle. And the latest player to be assessed by the referee, who has to run across to him and then tell the medical staff, who by the way are not even stood up and out the technical area. So there was no doubt at all that Cole Palmer was ever going to need any medical attention.
No, it's the way it is. It's just buying 30 seconds of time to quell a bit of momentum, a bit of a bad situation that Chelsea are in. They can get their shape back and then launch it down the pitch.
It's hoisted high rather than long, and Dominguez wins it well in the air, but then Gibbs White's unfortunate to see his ball ricochet off Caicedo, and now Chelsea break. This is Madueke, halfway inside the Forest half, trying to wriggle his way infield. Lost out to Dominguez. That hurt. He was late. That was Madueke on Dominguez.
It's a card, surely.
Well, it should be. Dominguez nicked the ball away from Madueke, who's really caught the Argentinian. The referee's given a free kick. Both of them have stayed down. I think Madueke stayed down because he knows if he gets back up there might be a card. And he's maybe just testing the referee's patience.
I think that's a yellow card, I really do.
Yeah, I do too.
Absolutely yellow card. He's caught his ankle and everything. Cleaned him out.
In the back of the heel. It may have hurt Madueke as well, but doesn't get you out of it. Both medical teams now out on the pitch to treat their own players.
Newcastle are losing.
And now Everton have gone in front against Newcastle. Newcastle 0, Everton 1. Everton in front at Goodison at St James's Park.
Villa are currently in the top 5 and the drawing, and they'll know that news now. That'll give them such a lift.
It gives them something to hold on to, doesn't it? So as it stands, Manchester City are leading at Fulham 1-0 and a third. Chelsea are leading here and a fourth. Aston Villa with 10 men are drawing 0-0 at Manchester United and are fifth. Newcastle are dropping out of the Champions League places because they trail Everton 1-0 and are sixth. And Forest here, trailing Chelsea by a goal to 0, are seventh. And in the Conference League, as things stand, Madueke is back on his feet. Nico Dominguez is not going to be able to continue here. He's just tried to take a step.
I've got to say, the severity of his injury, he's still down now, I think warranted a yellow card.
Yeah.
That's just another really poor decision from the referee.
Dominguez being hauled back up to his feet again. He's not going to be able to continue. He's in a lot of pain, Nico Dominguez. And Ryan Yates has been called for from the bench.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's his first call up for Argentina for quite a while.
Yeah.
I don't see him going now.
That's horrible for Nico Dominguez. He's had an outstanding season. He's had an excellent season. He's often been underappreciated, I think, the work he gets through. And he gets injured doing what he does. Winning a duel against Noni Madueke. And now can't put any weight on his left ankle. He sort of got kicked in the back of it. Just from his point of view, I hope it's ankle rather than Achilles. I mean, he was really kicked hard on the back of his Achilles.
You just saw his ankle wobble.
Yeah. And Ryan Yates.
Yeah, I mean, he's walking by Madueke now. It's like, which is quite ironic as well. He's just done him, and I mean, he's not a nasty player, Madueke. He wouldn't have meant that, but it was a clumsy challenge, and a poor one.
Nico Dominguez has to leave the action. A lot of pain, but he's sort of hopped back towards the dugout, and he's going to sit down in front of that dugout area. I don't think he wants to go down the tunnel. He wants to very much try and remain part of this. Forest need an equaliser. Chelsea lead them by 1-0, and neither of the other teams involved in that race, as far as Forest are concerned, are managing to win. Villa 0-0 at Manchester United. Newcastle 1 down at Everton.
At home.
At home to Everton. Yeah. Here's Aina, well forward down the right hand side, firing in the low cross. I don't know if that flicked off Cucurella or he just got his angles wrong, but it's straight to Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, just that feel, a bit of desperation. Get the ball in the box now with, I don't know, 20 minutes to go, 25 minutes maximum, but I kind of get it. It's a bit desperation now. It's got to be that way.
Sanchez finally puts the ball down and then clears out long. Aina underneath it to head it back into the Chelsea half, down to Yates' feet. Yates tucks it all the way back to Sells. Sells gives it to Murillo. It's match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. We're 25 minutes into the second half. Forest trail Chelsea by 1-0. It's a scrappy, ugly kind of goal to concede, but they've not managed to put Robert Sanchez under any sort of pressure in the entire game. That's a good ball from Gibbs White, left wing for Hudson-Odoi. Down the line now for Nico Williams, who is ahead of him. Williams trying to take on Caicedo, puts over the cross, banged away at the near post once again, this time by Tosin, and Murillo back on halfway, heads the ball back towards Sells, who's well outside his penalty area to get there ahead of Palmer and give it Milenkovic, and he keeps it going right hand side for Yates, and that's a good ball to Aina, and Aina down the line looking for Elanga but overhits it.
The last two have been pulled across, and then that one there overhit the pass by a long way. Maybe a bit of tiredness, who knows, but he's certainly better than that. But it's going to be a frustrating 20 minutes with the crowd, I'm afraid. Even just to get an equaliser and just allow the chance of getting into the Europa League, and hoping Man U can somehow get a goal from somewhere, but just to not lose this game.
Great tackle by Anderson on Fernandes. Now here's Hudson-Odoi, wide left, midway inside the Chelsea half, just tucks it backwards for Yates. He leaves it now for Murillo, square for Milenkovic, just into Chelsea territory. Milenkovic, little ball forward to Elanga, who's pretty central at the moment, finds Wood's feet, he gives it Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi out wide left now for Anderson. Anderson curls over the cross back post, and again it's too close to Sanchez.
Yeah, it's been the theme of the day actually. Every ball in the box has been headed by a Chelsea defender, or the keeper's come for it. Cross is not quite good enough, a bit too near the keeper a lot. Elanga's set plays have not been brilliant today like they normally are so far.
And Elanga here drags down Lavia, and it'll be a free kick for Chelsea, 10 yards inside their own half. It remains 1-0 here. Aston Villa still 0-0. And Chelsea have it.
Yeah, and we've got to go and get it, I'm afraid. That's why Gibbs White's just chasing the ball around. They have to go and get the ball back. Hard work against a good team on the sunny conditions when things are against you.
Pedro Neto can't keep that in play. Forest have got 18 minutes plus added time.
Just the stats there, 2 shots on target the whole game.
Yeah. Which is kind of what's let Forest down today.
Yep.
Final third. Manchester United have had a goal ruled out for offside. They've hit the post against Aston Villa. I mean, none of this will matter if Forest can't get an equaliser, but if Manchester United can score and Forest can get an equaliser, then it'll be Europa League. Nico Williams sends this one forward long. Wood trying to run in behind, but Tosin gets the ball away to halfway. Yates wrestling with Enzo Fernandez. Free kick on halfway for Chelsea, who are very much slowing things down. Give your Aston Villa drawing today at Manchester United down to 10 men. I don't think you'd quite believed a series of results that would put you in the Champions League with a draw.
Yeah.
But as it stands, that's how it is for Aston Villa. 17 to go here at the City Ground. Long ball from Tosin, spread wide out to the left-hand side. Good ball from Madueke, who gets it back now from Cucurella. Knocked away by Murillo on the volley, and then Cucurella bundles into Elanga, and it'll be a free kick for Forest. Yates takes it quickly and short to Elanga, and Elanga now for Elliot Anderson. Anderson for Murillo. Good ball left-hand side for Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi going forward towards the penalty area. Fires over the cross, but he's behind everybody this time. That delivery into the penalty area today from just about every player has been lacking. But Forest win it back again through Anderson, and now here's Yates. Right-hand side for Aina. Little short, but Milenkovic nicks it away from Cole Palmer. Anderson in the centre circle. Rolls it to his left for Nico Williams. Time ticking away fast. Quarter of an hour to go plus added time. Murillo's little chip into Gibbs-White. He heads it on and is caught late. And as Chelsea clear it away from Chris Wood.
Yeah, I think he's bought free kick there, actually.
Stayed down.
I mean, the diagonal ball from Murillo into Gibbs-White. I mean, he's brave to go in for the header, actually. Because of that reason, I think Levi Colwell's been accused of catching him. He's gone down. Maybe he did catch him, I'm not sure, but he's brave to head the ball in the first place. He's gone down, and
it's one of those in the lower back, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just caught him.
Yeah.
I mean, the ball to Murillo didn't give him any chance of controlling it. He just headed the ball, flicked around the corner for Chris Wood, and got caught by Colwell, who didn't actually mean to do that, but it was certainly, looking at that, a free kick.
15 to go, and Forest needs some momentum. They trail 1-0, but everything still is close in all of the other games, and so anything remains possible going into the final 15 minutes of the season. As it is at the moment, it's Conference League, but what can Forest do here?
It has to be a diagonal to the back stick where Milenkovic, it's gone on his right foot, middle of the pitch. Elanga can't be shooting from there, can't go out on wide to Murillo. It's got to be a diagonal. Oh, it can be.
It's almost dead centre.
He has shot.
He has
back
shot
pass
straight at the goalkeeper, and it's easy for Sanchez. It's a long way out as well. The wall was a good 5 yards outside the penalty area.
Yeah, that's catching practice for the keeper.
Ambitious from Elanga. And it remains 1-0 to Chelsea. Aina tries to pinch the ball back off Cucurella and is adjudged to have fouled him. Not really sure about that. Cole Palmer had picked up the ball anyway, and now he takes the free kick away towards Chelsea's right wing, headed by Nico Williams. Hudson-Odoi plays it into Neto. Crowd appealing for handball. Wasn't. It was a throw anyway to Forest. Williams throws it backwards to Murillo, and he turns the ball back for Sells. Sells for Milenkovic. Milenkovic now for Elanga. Elanga getting up to full pace down the right-hand side. Gives it Aina, who's ahead of him. Aina. Fired across. Way too far this time. Miles through the penalty area. He's ballooned it.
Yeah.
Aina.
Not his finest 10 minutes. Manu scored.
Manchester United have scored now against Aston Villa. Manchester United goal. They lead Aston Villa by 1-0. So, as it stands now, Aston Villa drop out of the Champions League places on goal difference. Newcastle keep their place in the top 5 on goal difference.
We need a goal to get in the Europa League.
And a goal for Forest here, an equaliser for Forest, gets them Europa League football. as things stand elsewhere. So, Forest 1 goal away now. From the Europa League. And Forest have it on halfway. Away to the right hand side for Elanga, heads it on for Aina, who backheels a volley down towards Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White stretches and gives it Yates, and Yates now for Aina. Aina with the cross, that's blocked, but it spins off towards Elanga. Steady. And then Kukurea clears it. And I think a free kick's been given here against Ola Aina.
Know your players.
2 Chelsea players down now, Kukurea and Caicedo. And both.
We're just getting mixed up in all the emotion of it at the moment.
Yeah.
That's what we don't need.
There's a yellow card for Ola Aina. There's another yellow card for somebody else, I don't know who. There's a load of players surrounded the referee. Forest need to keep their heads here because this is there for them. I mean, they've not really laid a glove on Chelsea so far. But it doesn't matter, because if they can get an equaliser in the last 11 minutes plus added time, as things stand elsewhere, they'll be playing Europa League football. Aston Villa trailing, Newcastle trailing. If they can get 2 goals, they'll be Champions League.
That's like a shot on target. At the moment, I don't see it. It's got to be a Sunderland like yesterday. You don't see it coming.
But at the moment, Levi Colwill's goal, 5 minutes into the second half, is going to leave Forest with Conference League football. 10 plus added time to go. There should be a lot of added time. Chelsea have taken an age over everything in this second half since being in front. Gibbs-White tries to scoot this over his shoulder and forward. Brilliant. It's gone sideways. Aina brings it down brilliantly, then keeps it in play. No, he doesn't keep it in play. He thought he had, but the assistant referee on that far side says it will be a Chelsea throw. Kukurea to take. 10 minutes remaining. Aina wins it back again for Forest inside his own half. Here's Yates for Elanga deep in his own half, trying to wriggle his way away from challenges. Wins a throw. Jota is going to come on for Forest now. All right, not just now, but any second he's ready. Nuno stands alongside him, hands in pockets near the halfway line. Oops. Murillo's ball has not reached Callum Hudson-Odoi. Malo Gusto is on for Chelsea, and he's got the ball down the right wing at the moment. And he rolls it backwards now for Reece James, and now for Caicedo back to halfway. And now Levi Colwill down the left wing for Madueke. He's got room to turn. Madueke running towards the edge of the penalty area now, across the edge of the penalty area, finding Cole Palmer, who's shoved out the box by Murillo. Caicedo picks it up and gives it to Gusto down the right hand side. Low ball in. Aina clears at the back post. Gibbs-White chasing after this. Brave header from him to challenge Tosin, and it's whipped forward again by Caicedo. Yates brings it down and turns into a bit of space, still just inside his own half. Plants a ball beyond Kukurea to Elanga down the right wing. Across gets Colwill to shove Elanga towards the corner flag, and between them Kukurea and Colwill have got enough and find Cole Palmer with the outlet ball on halfway. It's all getting very, very stretched. Forest a goal down. This is sent forward towards Cole Palmer, but he won't get away from Milenkovic. Newcastle, Aston Villa and Forest all trailing 1-0 in their games. Reece James controls on halfway, clips one forward towards Fernandes. Cross gets Murillo, and he wins a throw. And here comes another change. It's Ola Aina to make way. Just maybe signs of him tiring late on, but listen to the applause for Aina as he makes his way off the field to be replaced by Jota. Has got another year under contract here at the City Ground. I think These Forest fans on their feet would like to see him tied down for longer. He leaves the pitch with 7 minutes to go and is replaced by Jota, who will go and play. Maybe not at right back. I think he's just held 3 fingers up to tell Nico Williams to be the right-sided centre-half with Milenkovic in the middle and Murillo on the left. Jota goes on the right.
Oof.
Oh, Murillo's angled the ball right through his own half and Madueke couldn't control it, so he got away with it. Jota now for Williams, now for Yates, 10 yards inside his own half. Good ball into Elanga. Elanga turns midway inside Chelsea half and he plays a poor ball towards Jota. Then it's a poor clearance picked up by Anderson. Anderson infield towards Yates. Yates with a cross blocked by Lavia. Spins back for Yates. Now Casado closes down Williams. Jota with a challenge. Ball goes loose halfway inside the Chelsea half, picked up by Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez, little chip to Malo Gusto down the right hand side. And then Chelsea work it back and across the Forest half, and now here's Casado. Chelsea leading 1-0. Time ticking away for Forest. They trail with 6 minutes to go plus added time. Results elsewhere mean an equaliser for Forest would see them play Europa League football next season. But Forest have not looked often this afternoon like scoring a goal. They have to raise themselves for the final few minutes. Bowled out quickly by Sells to Hudson-Odoi. Little ball infield now for Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White on halfway for Anderson. Gets it back, now into the feet of Elanga. Elanga, body checked by Reece James as he's trying to turn for a return pass from Hudson-Odoi. Free kick Forest. And Murillo, I think, is going to come forward to take. Enzo Fernandez doesn't retreat. It's actually Gibbs-White that takes it. Forest almost getting a mix-up, but they do have possession with Hudson-Odoi left-hand side into Elliot Anderson. He lays it back for Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White with the ball towards the back post for Yates, who heads it down and across, and it's volleyed away. Oh, he's offside. Flag goes up. Again, Forest can't get it right in the final third.
To be fair, there's always been more blue shirts in those areas. Chris Wood's obviously been the one around there, but every ball in the box has been headed back or towards him. It's just appeared there's been just nobody else in the box apart from Wood on his own, and anything's dropped in there. The likes of Caicedo and now Lavia are mopping up the second ball, and it's just from their point of view, it's defensively strong today.
1-0 to Chelsea. 4 minutes to go. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. Dewsbury Hall is coming on to replace Madueke. That's Madueke, Neto and Sancho that have been taken off by Enzo Maresca, the Chelsea head coach. He knows what he's got. What he's got at the moment for Chelsea is Champions League football and a European final coming up on Wednesday. For Forest, at the moment they're heading towards that competition next season, the Conference League, but an equaliser could change that. An equaliser could mean Europa League. If the results stay as they are elsewhere, it would. Here's Nico Williams just inside his own half, right hand side, rolls it slightly backwards for Milenkovic. Now here's Anderson. Anderson across halfway, works it to the left for Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White tucks it back again for Murillo, and now Hudson-Odoi. Chelsea good in their defensive shape. Forest struggling to break them down. Murillo finds a good ball into Elanga, who's got Gibbs-White trying to run in behind Reece James, but he's not going to reach it. Oh, he's won a corner though. That's really good from Morgan Gibbs-White. That's proper scrapping, because Reece James just wanted that to run out of play, and it looked like he had it covered.
I just turned away thinking, well, that's not going to be a corner. That's brilliant work from Gibbs-White. Just wouldn't give it up. And Reece James looked around the referee thinking, how did that happen? Because he's such a strong man. Corner in front of the Trent end with 2.5 minutes to go. keep it away from the goalkeeper for once.
Anthony Elanga to take from the left-hand side, right-footed, high it goes, back post, Milenkovic heads it down straight into the back of somebody else, comes back for Milenkovic, now Anderson volleys, now it might break for Murillo, then Anderson has a go again, Kukureya's in the way, volleyed by Chris Wood, back across the face of goal, but into the arms of Sanchez. Almighty scramble in the Chelsea 6-yard box, and just outside it, but Forest unable to take advantage.
Yeah, they went back sick this time, and a clear header for Milenkovic, but there again, I said there's 8 blue shirts, there's always somebody in the way. Good defending again, and the last volley from Chris Wood was a poor one straight to the keeper.
Aston Villa are now 2-0 down at Manchester United. Eriksson scored a penalty for Manchester United. It's Manchester United 2, Aston Villa 0. You would suggest that one's not going to change in terms of result, and it means that an equaliser here for Forest would bring them Europa League football, but that's a poor touch from Elanga to give it away to Caicedo, who's found Cole Palmer, right corner of the penalty area. He squares it now for Lavia in the D shoots, and it's deflected by Yates' block, and Chelsea will have a corner. Yates is saying to Chris Wood and Anthony Elanga to stay forward.
Also Villa for 6th and 7th now away. It's looking, I think it's all done at the top 5.
Newcastle are going to lose could lose at home on the final day and still get in to the top 5. Reece James is calling for more noise from the Chelsea fans. They're taking an age over this corner, and they've taken it short. We're in the 90th minute. Should be a good amount of stoppage time. Forest need
at least 6.
That they need every minute they can get here. Trailing Chelsea 1-0. 1 goal away from the Europa League. Jota sends a long ball forward, but it's not got the quality again. It'll be easy for Tosin to send it back to his goalkeeper. Sanchez clears and gets good purchase on the clearance, but Hudson-Odoi underneath it on halfway and controls. Here comes the 4th official, Jared Gillett, to tell us 8 minutes. Forest have got 8 minutes to get an equaliser, and that equaliser would take them into the Europa League. Here's Milenkovic for Murillo. Murillo across halfway to the left of the centre circle. Pings it for, that's way over hit. He apologises to everybody in a red shirt. And that 8 minutes of added time begins with a Chelsea goal kick.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's tiredness or just desperation and just not keeping the calm head, but Alaina and Murillo overhit quite a few passes. I mean, some good passes, don't get me wrong, but for them, quite a few loose passes that have gone way over pace the passes down the side of the pitch, both Murillo and Olaina today.
Sanchez clears left to right. Milenkovic lets this run over his head. Sells is outside his penalty area and bangs it away from Cole Palmer. Would look like he was manhandled. A combination of Chelsea defenders, and then Fernandes knocks it out of play. And it'll be a throw for Forest. Chelsea just let the ball run all the way into their dugout. Murillo has to go in there and retrieve it. Takes the throw, and now here's Anderson. 7 to go of added time. Forest trailing Chelsea 1-0. Murillo pings a ball forward left-hand side, headed away by Reece James. Gusto, poor ball, intercepted by Murillo. Murillo then gives the ball away again.
His head's gone at the moment. He's chasing things all over the shop.
And now here's Cole Palmer, surrounded by red shirts. Yates blocks his attempted pass, spins out for Gusto, who's just going to allow it to run out for a Chelsea throw 10 yards inside the Forest half.
Just showing a little bit of inexperience, just with that calm head. I get it, because it's like for these lads who've been near Champions League all season, it's a disappointment, a massive disappointment, and they're trying to force the issue all the time. But I hope they know that a draw is enough for Europa League. I hope they kind of know that situation.
Reece James to take a throw. Down the line it goes.
Because Chelsea are in there, they must know they're done.
Yeah. Milenkovic for Matt Sells. A point would be alright for Chelsea. It wouldn't harm them.
No, not at all.
Here's Anderson for Gibbs White.
That was a poor one.
Tries to flick one in towards Elanga. There's a slip by Reece James, and then Levi Colwell has completely sliced the clearance out for a corner. 2 mistakes from Chelsea, and suddenly Forest have a corner in front of the Trent end. 3 minutes into 8 of added time. It's taken short to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi onto his left foot to cross. And Chelsea again have too many men back, and it's swept away by Caicedo after Chelsea won the first header.
Well played.
Back goes Gibbs White, and after controlling a ball under his chest under pressure, sends it all the way back to Matt Sells. Sells is almost up to halfway. He is up to halfway. He's in the Chelsea half when he sends this forward towards Chris Wood, who's got in behind them and then lifts his shot over the crossbar. The chance was there, and Chris Wood couldn't take it, the 20-goal man. It's a fantastic ball over the top by Matt Sells, and he was in behind the defenders. Chris Wood bangs the turf in frustration. He was surrounded by blue shirts. What a ball from Sells, and Wood is in behind. He's controlled it on his thigh, and then as he's trying to lift it into the corner of the net, he's just got too much on it, and it's over the bar, and it remains 1-0 to Chelsea, and that's how close Forest were to the Europa League.
Everyone's stunned around us. Like you say, Colin, beautiful diagonal ball, 50 yards. He got in behind the defence for the first time today. He was going backwards as he controlled the ball onto his thigh, and they realised that Reece James was going to get back and maybe toe poke the ball away. And he tried to steady himself to get his shot away, so he rushed his shot a little bit as he was falling backwards, and then rather than get a little touch on it, he got a heavy foot on it. Right one in the first half, too much on it, and over the crossbar. Another huge chance. The best today for us.
Here's Milenkovic on halfway, sending it right hand side. Cucurella tries to head it square to Tosin. He whacks it away, and the flag goes up for offside against Cole Palmer. 5 minutes of added time have been played. There are 3 to go. Was that the big chance, or is there to be one more? Here's Murillo. Good ball out wide to the right hand side, brought down by Yates. He's faced by Cucurella. Tries to go on the outside. His first cross is blocked. It comes back to him to cross again. Tosin heads away at the near post. It goes out for a throw on that far side. Nico Williams gets hold of it quickly.
Pick it short.
It's going to leave it for Jota. Jota's going to throw a long one in.
Oh, it takes time though. Just play it short there to Nico Williams.
Jota hurls it into the penalty area. Sanchez near post.
Don't get
claims it like picking apples. Symptomatic of Forest all day.
Yep.
Ball into the penalty area. 1-0. Chelsea lead. 2 minutes to go. Not many heading for the exits. 1 or 2. Of course, Forest with a lap of appreciation tonight after the final whistle. Whatever happens here, it looks like that appreciation is going to be for a run to Europe, to the Conference League.
There's a ball on the pitch there as well. You see it. He's not seen it yet, but he shouldn't stop playing. I mean, the ball's on the pitch.
Yeah, another ball on the pitch behind Matt Sells as he clears long. Milenkovic has been sent up front here, I think, for Forest. There's a couple of challenges on halfway. Won by Chelsea. Newcastle have been beaten at home on the final day by Everton. And Forest here have got about a minute to get an equaliser. Sells clears long. There's a shove on Wood. Milenkovic is chasing after Reece James in a left wing position, and Milenkovic wins it and gives it Elliot Anderson. Anderson wriggling away down the left hand side, fires over the cross. It might fall back post. It didn't for Nico Williams. Williams goes down as Chelsea get it clear. The clearance is picked up by Murillo. Murillo gives it Hudson-Odoi. He drifts a ball deep into the penalty area, too deep, but Gibbs White goes and retrieves it. Gibbs White bangs across over the penalty area, but behind for a goal kick. And that, I think, is going to do it. Chelsea have a man down again inside the penalty area. I think that's Tosin who's down this time.
Great play again from Anderson, and Milenkovic has chased the ball down. He got in the box. His left foot had put it across the face of the 6-yard box. Sanchez got a hand on it, and then again a Chelsea body. I think it's Dewsbury Hall got in the way. Good save from the keeper, and just loads of blue shirts again in that area to get something on it.
Chance was there for Forest today. Aston Villa have lost. Aston Villa are still playing, are losing 2-0. Newcastle have lost, but Forest have not been able to take care of their own business. Final few seconds here at the City Ground. It's all over. The game is over, and Chelsea are celebrating being in the Champions League, and Forest will have to settle for the Conference League. I think one or two of the Forest players are arguing that they're with Anthony Taylor, Jota and Nico Williams, are just maybe making the point that more added time should have been stuck on by Anthony Taylor at the end of the game, as Forest in the sunshine see their season come to an end with another home defeat. Their home form has not been great at the end of this season, and they've lost to Chelsea on the final day by 1-0, a scruffy goal scored by Levi Colwill 5 minutes into the second half. And it means that despite results going in their favour elsewhere, Forest will play Conference League football next season. But let's put that into perspective, because Forest have finished 7th in the Premier League with 65 points this season, more than doubling their points tally from last season. And the fact that the boos, by the way, are for Anthony Taylor, the referee, as he leaves the field. Chelsea are celebrating in front of their supporters away to our right hand side. But to put the season, as I was saying, into context, 7th place in the Premier League. They have gone toe to toe all season long with the heavyweights, the very heaviest weights of the Premier League, and in the end they finished with a European place for next season in the Conference League. They finish 1 point adrift of the Champions League. That's how close they've come this season, and no doubt they'll build again during the course of the summer. And these fans that have stayed to a man and are now singing the place, singing the roof off the place, as the players and the coaching staff stand in the middle of the pitch, will have a first European campaign for 30 years next season. There's disappointment from the players that it's not more than that, and that, I think, Steve Hodge, tells you just about everything.
Yeah, I think we'll reflect on the season in a few minutes with David and just go back on it all. On today's game, you know, you could just tell that the defenders are on top, and they haven't got a lot up top really, and we were marshalling them well. And one goal's going to win it today. You could just tell it was just there. And you know, ironically, it goes to the guy who put us in the back in the Premier League 3 years ago, Levi Colwill. Nothing in the game really, but as a home team, creating chances against a really good, strong team. Not a lot. We just got the two. That was all. Obviously, Chris Wood got both. The first one was really difficult. The second one wasn't easy, to be fair to him. He was falling backwards a little bit. Had to take it quickly. It wasn't easy at all when you're under pressure like that. And I think over the course of that game, he had 3 or 4 chances that you would bank on getting one of them probably. But we didn't test the keeper enough. I think we probably had 1 shot on target the whole game, and maybe 2. And Chelsea, to be fair, the save didn't cause us that many problems. But I always felt they were in control of it, and they were strong at the back. And we had to find a moment of inspiration from somewhere, from Gibbs White, whoever it might be, and it wasn't there today. And Chris Wood, you know, at 33 years of age, he kept himself fit the whole season more or less, and got 20 goals. What a season he's had! But disappointment, obviously. Fantastic season from where we were last year, but I understand the fans and the players' frustration that the Champions League looked as though it was there, and it, you know, the thing was, you know, going back to And there'll be periods afterwards we reflect on it, but I look back now, and Nuno's been great this season. I just think he got it wrong against Leicester when it was 2-1, and our midfield was wide open, and Buonanotte scored, and that cost us 2 points, and that would have put us in the Champions League. Ifs and buts, maybes. All in all, a brilliant season, but this season, Champions League, it was there for us.
Yeah, you can reflect on all sorts, can't you? You can reflect on going right back early season. Forest outplaying Wolves here on this pitch, and Bellegarde sticking one in the top corner to get Wolves a point and cost Forest 2. There are so many of those occasions that you know that when you only miss out by a point, you'll look back on. Forest are just leaving the field now, but they will come back on to have their lap of appreciation.
The cool thing is, Colin,
in just a moment.
I look at the scores now coming in. Tottenham 1, Brighton 4, and like Tottenham Hotspur next year will be in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And they've been an absolute, one of my old teams, but they've been an absolute disgrace this season as a team, as a squad, and they've got out of jail. And good luck to them. I'm pleased for them, but it just shows you sometimes the cruelness of fate. Sometimes that you can have a great season and end it with nothing, and they can have a terrible season and end it as heroes. It's a weird game at times.
Yeah. Forest players looking crestfallen as they leave the pitch. As I say, they'll come back soon. The man who's leaving the pitch on crutches here, Nico Dominguez, he came out with the rest of his team at the end of the game on crutches, and is now hobbling away down the tunnel on nose. I kind of think that what Forest are waiting for here is Chelsea, because they're celebrating a Champions League finish in front of their fans, and they want that to go on for a long, long time. There are an awful lot of people out there with Chelsea, aren't there? There must be 100 people out there, you would have thought.
To be fair to him, he's done a good job this year. You know, I think he wasn't Mr. Popular at the start of the season, but he's got enough points and he's got to a final, so he'll be quite happy the way his season's gone. And they've got lots and lots of really good players. Look at the league table now, and Tottenham Hotspur finished 17th this year on 38 points, and they've escaped easily by 13 points. I mean, look, above the bottom three this year is Tottenham Hotspur, Wolves and Manchester United. What a weird season.
Yeah, really has been, hasn't it? And Forest, one of the teams that have replaced those in the top echelons of the division. Brighton up there as well. That 8th place,
they finished 8th.
Potential of getting Europe now doesn't. Everything is sorted. Boos now from the Forest fans. I think they just want Chelsea to go. I think they've kind of seen enough of Chelsea celebrating, and they feel that it's dampening Forest's own celebration, for which they are still waiting. But the Champions League will be Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City, Chelsea and Newcastle, and Aston Villa and Crystal Palace will play in the Europa League. Sorry, I forgot Spurs in the Champions League, of course. Aston Villa and Crystal Palace as cup winners will be in the Europa League, and Forest will take their place in the Conference League. That means, of course, that they will have to go through a playoff round. The Conference League group stage is a couple of matches shorter than the Champions League and the Europa League group stages. You play 8 matches in the group stages of those two competitions, but only 6 in the Conference League. But before that, in the Conference League, last 2 weeks of August, home and away leg in a playoff round to get yourself into that Conference League proper, if you like. And that is what Forest have awaiting them next season. Chelsea have now decided that they are going to leave the field, and their fans have started to drift away from the City ground as well. Happy, job done from their point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. A tough place to come today. They will have been in trepidation a little bit, but they handled it pretty well. They kept Forest at bay as best they could, apart from Chris Wood's 2 chances.
They kept Forest at bay very well, really, didn't they? I mean, Forest have barely threatened apart from those 2 chances.
Grey-haired chap down there in the suit, is that Todd Bowley? He just bought Trent Rockets?
Could be.
Going down the tunnel now in the white shirt.
Yeah.
He's the owner of Chelsea, obviously from America. They're all here today, all the big wigs, I would imagine. And they've done their job this year. But we've done our job. We've done more than our job this year. Yes, it's tailed away at the end. I do understand that, but all in all, we'll go through the season. And I think looking at all the players this year, we came up a little bit short at the end. I think the squad depth wasn't there at the end.
Yeah.
That's all that really cost us. Yeah. But all the players has to go through probably more games than they wanted to. Really, also an FA Cup run as well. Don't forget that. Another, 4 or 5 games, extra times, penalties, all that. So it's a long season for a lot of players this season, and they've all performed brilliantly. But it probably caught up with us at the end of the season with our home games in particular. We have to go and open teams up, make chances, create things. Brentford came in, did a job on us. Everton were the same. Leicester nicked a point. And today Chelsea have dug in deep, and probably, on balance, we probably deserved to draw that game, but it wasn't to be today.
And just waiting now here at the City Ground for the Forest players to come back out. I don't know if they're perhaps from a ground safety point of view, just waiting for more Chelsea fans to leave. But there are not many Forest fans who've left. I'll tell you that. This place is, it's not quite full. It's hard to tell really, because there are some empty seats, but there are a lot of people who've moved forward in the stands to stand just behind the advertising boards. There's a ring of stewards and security people who are stopping anybody coming onto the pitch. Nobody did at full time, either from Chelsea or from Forest supporters. And it's good to see this, that there are so many people here, so many Forest fans that have stayed for what is always called a lap of appreciation, and sometimes that's all it can be after seasons. We've seen laps of appreciation, Steve, after staying in the Championship, one place above the relegation zone. I think they can quite legitimately call this one a lap of honour, can't they?
Absolutely, yeah. Qualification for Europe, and that's an achievement in itself for this football club, and it's back in the high echelons of European football, talked about now in Europe. I think in that conference league will go well. I think we should go well. I'm not sure, obviously the situation now is with 1-2 players, will they be here with us next year or not? That remains to be seen, but if they go or not, I think there'll be good replacements coming in, and the team can look forward to a long European campaign, which obviously will also need extra players in it as well.
Yeah, it's going to need some depth, isn't it?
Yep, extra players. So it'll be a long close season for the recruitment staff, but that'll be in place already, I would imagine, because then obviously we were in Europe, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So all in all, got to commend all the playing staff and all the coaching staff. Obviously the fans have been fantastic home and away. Some of the games we've seen this year, going to Liverpool and winning, was unbelievable. Beating Tottenham and Manchester United doubles over both those huge football clubs. Beating Man City at home for the first time since back in the Premier League. Individual awards of Matt Sells, obviously brilliant in goal. Lots and lots of players, and there's very few players in the Forest team this year probably have had an average season. In fact, hardly any. The one I would have mentioned actually before you mentioned it before the game was Taiwo Awoniyi, who for lack of game time and fitness and things just going against him, just one of them seasons that you want to forget. He came and started against Exeter away in the Cup and got a broken nose, and he came back, obviously he's got his injury against Leicester. For him it's been a poor season in terms of fitness and things happening to him which he couldn't really control. But the majority of players that have, the midfield players have all played their role. The subs more so earlier in the season, the first half of the season. Josta Silva obviously made things happen and changed momentum in games. Ramos Sosa's the one's not really been given a chance really in the second part of the season. Slightly chance in the first, but not seen much of him really. Morato's gone on the pitch and done his job when he needed to do. So a really good squad performance all round. Lots and lots of standouts. 4 or 5 big players have really been brilliant this season and carried the team, but the whole squad in general has done brilliantly. It looked happy squad as well. I think well managed by Nuno. Not made many bad calls. Got a lot of things right. The players are playing for him, and he's got, like he did at Wolves, he's got his team into Europe. The kind of like the first time of asking really that we thought he may have a chance. Not even chance really, but last year was obviously survival. This year to another level.
Chris Wood is just coming out onto the onto the side of the pitch. I think the fans thought that was going to be the start of the lap of appreciation, but he's actually gone across to do a TV interview down there.